Hello, lovely CAWC members, and welcome to QuaranTea Tuesday. Today we have a lovely lady, Robin Smirnov, who's going to teach us how to all look fabulous on Zoom. So we're all very looking forward to hearing some makeup tips and how we can look our best fabulous selves while we're having meetings and presentations and stuff on Zoom. Thank you so much, Robin.
Okay, I just had to unmute myself. Thank you guys for having me. I've given so many presentations in my life, but never one quite like this. So I hope I have something useful to say. I don't know, but Zoom is like our lives nowadays, isn't it? I'm teaching so many singing lessons over Zoom and it's working really, really well. And in fact, it's so good for me today because my son Victor is in year 5 at the Beacon, and a little boy at his school and his mother tested positive for coronavirus. So Victor, from last Friday, with like no notice whatsoever, all of year 5 is homeschooling and self-isolating for the week. So amazing how good Zoom is, right? Because otherwise I probably wouldn't be able to come and speak if it was like in a live environment. So Victor's in the living room doing English class right now, and I'm here. So it just goes to show actually how useful Zoom is. So hopefully I have some good tips for you. So I have like my top 10 tips. The first one, and I guess if anyone has any questions, like jump in. Not sure how it works, but you know, like I could talk forever and ever and ever. So anyway, my first top tip is have great lighting. So find the best spot in your house. So if you want to take your phone or your iPad and walk around, you can put it on the setting, maybe like you're going to take a video or a photo, but probably a video works better. And just walk all around your house and find the best place with the best lighting. Or if you have an office or someplace that you know you want to do your Zoom calls from, then have a look in your office, try all the different areas. And then the best thing to do is try to be near natural light, face a window, because actually the light from outside, natural light, acts like its own Instagram filter. So that's a really easy way. Try turning on the lights, try turning off the lights. I have a ring light that I really like because the corner of my living room where I teach isn't that light even in the daytime, and I don't feel like it's very well lit. So it's a ring light, and today it holds my iPhone, so that's working really well for today. But when I teach, I just kind of put it to the side of me, and it helps like light me up so my students can see me better. And it actually helps me see the music because I think I'm getting older now, and it helps me see my music better. So lighting is key, right? Everything. And you don't want a shady face. You don't want like dark eyes, bags under your eyes. You don't want to be, you just don't want a shady face, right? You want people to see how beautiful you are. Number 2 is check your background. So I was aiming to do this talk from my computer in my living room. We have a little office corner for homeschooling, and the background is really, really plain, but obviously Victor's doing school in the background. So today I'm doing it from my kitchen. So I have cleaned up what's in back of me. I've tried to make it, take all the, well, there wasn't rubbish there. Let's face it, I'm tidy anyway. There was not rubbish there, but make sure you tidy your background. Simple is best. You don't want to be talking to people because maybe the Zoom call is like friendly, like we're doing today, but maybe it's a business call. Maybe you're teaching like I do. Maybe you're having a job interview. So you never know what kind of Zoom call you're going to be on. So no laundry piles, no garbage, no crazy messy toys, and simple is best, I think. And then number 3 is especially important for your family. Do not disturb. So if you're going to be on an important Zoom call, make sure your family knows. You can lock yourself in the room, but then probably maybe your significant other and your children would be like pounding down the door trying to get in. So maybe put a note on the door to tell them that you're busy. Say to them, if the doorbell rings, can you get that for me? Because I'm busy. Also, don't forget about pets, because I don't know, I don't have any pets. Victor is like my little puppy, and he's very well behaved. But if you, I see Anita's little sweet donkey there. But if you have pets that could be disruptive, do something about that. And definitely if you're on an important Zoom call, take your pet out on a walk or take them to go to the potty before you get on. Number 4 is pay attention. So we all have been on like these crazy Zoom calls like that go on and on and on. The Parents Association, AGM that I was on for hours last night. Well, not last night, a few weeks ago. I just couldn't with it. So I turned my camera on mute. I turned my camera off. I turned my sound on mute, and I was there listening, but I could clean the kitchen and I could do other things. So if you're on a big call like that, where it doesn't matter if you turn your camera and your sound off because you want to do other things, turn everything off, because you don't want to embarrass yourself by not being on mute or whatever. If you need to get up to get a drink, do something around the house, turn your video off and mute yourself, and no one will even know it. Now this next one, this does not apply to any of us, I know for absolute sure, but no resting bitch face, right? We've all been there. We've all seen people who sit there like, we don't want that, right? Unless you're trying to like prove a point with people, or if you want people to see your resting bitch face, then that's totally fine. But if you're trying to pretend that you're happy, you're engaged, you're enjoying the meeting, then no resting bitch face, ladies. That's super important. That might be the most important thing that we discussed today. Number 5 is have a good posture. I'm looking at Anita Wallace hysterically laughing. But you know it's true. No resting bitch face. Okay, number 5 is have good posture and a good camera angle. So you don't want the camera like looking up your nose. You don't want the camera looking at like your 1,000 double chins. Like maybe I'm the only one with a double chin, but I certainly like do not want people looking at my double chin. The other thing is that I have really noticed this when I teach, you don't want to be like all boobs. Like, look this angle, like I don't look that bad in real life, but like you definitely do not want the camera just to be like all boobs. That like freaks me out. So definitely adjust your camera. And a lot of our cameras have wide angles. So if you just, maybe you want to sit back a bit, you don't want to be like all up in the camera, because again, you can see how it changes your face, makes you look bigger than you want to. Maybe you want to look that big, that's absolutely fine, but I would just like move back from the camera a little bit, be at ease. You don't want to be all boobs or all chins, okay? Number 6 is what to wear. So always, but especially on Zoom calls, we should all wear beautiful colors that we enjoy wearing, that make us happy, but you want it to, whatever you're wearing, you want it to light up your face, because you just want to bring some natural light to your face, and you want to be comfortable with what you're wearing. So I don't usually like wearing a neckline this high. I'm quite happy to have my boobs hanging out. But when you're on Zoom, or maybe like when I'm teaching and trying to be professional, or you're having a job interview or something like that, a nice high collar is quite good. Then you don't really need to worry about a necklace, and you just look neat and tidy. And I know we have members in our club who deal with like colors and styling and dressing and makeup and all that kind of stuff. So I am definitely not an expert in any of this. I think I know what works for me, and the general ideas everybody can use. So I would suggest, if you want expert help, seek it out. I'm probably not the person. Okay, so try not to wear, I have like a sheet here so that I don't miss anything. So when I'm looking down, looking at my sheet. So try, I think, not to wear all white or all black, because the white can really sometimes be too bright. This is like if you're on TV as well, the same thing applies. If you have a really busy, crazy pattern, or if you wear all black, sometimes they just don't work, and you can just sink into your surroundings. And you also want to wear a different color than your background so that you don't just become one big blob, or like just had, you know, just a head with no body. You don't want to do that either. I think simple is best. Today I'm just wearing a blouse, but you can't ever go wrong, especially if it's a business Zoom, with a blazer and a camisole or a blouse underneath. That's always really, really classic. If you want to try to like add something to like jazz yourself up a little bit, I often wear headbands, especially when I'm teaching, because I think the little girls like that. They all wear headbands, right? So like, why shouldn't I? It gives a little extra like something to your appearance. Or a pretty scarf, especially if it's like chilly when you're doing your Zoom, or you just want to add like a little pop of color. You can always wear pretty scarf, and that will help. Jewelry. You know, I love, love, love jewelry. So I say always wear jewelry. I wear lots of jewelry, but you don't want to clink and clank. So today I'm wearing one bracelet, because if I was wearing an arm party or a bunch of bangles, I might be clanking all around, and that's like really quite annoying, especially if you talk with your hands. And you should probably only wear one piece of statement jewelry at a time. So this is true in real life and in Zoom or online or on video. So today I just have, for me, quite simple earrings, but they do the trick. But if you're wearing like a solid top or maybe an open neckline, a statement necklace is always a really great idea. But if you wear like a big chunky statement necklace, then maybe wear studs or something more simple in your ears so that you're just kind of balanced and your whole look is not like too overwhelming. 7, hair. Keep it neat and tidy. Oh my God, this is like, my mom was always crazy with me over this. Robin, Leanne, you have to brush your hair before you leave the house. Like crazy. She still does it to me. And every time I'm going to see my mom, like before I go home or if she comes here, I have to have my hair done and colored and like ready, because she'll be so like, she'll think something is wrong with me. So I mean, wash your hair, like hopefully. If you can't wash your hair, please use dry shampoo. There's lots of dry shampoos on the market, but wash your hair. I would say blow dry it, use a brush. Obviously, this is only if you're wanting to look really professional. If it's your friends and family, other than me and my mom, you're probably fine. Another thing is, don't be like fiddling with your hair all the time. Like you do need to like, you know, sometimes get a bit of volume in your hair. But when I'm talking to my mom, she's always like, Robin, can you stop looking at your hair? Can you stop touching your hair? Because it does get annoying. So definitely like in business setting, you want to make sure that you're not doing that, because it can be really distracting and obviously unprofessional. 8 is makeup. I have so much to say about makeup. I'm definitely not a professional, but I am a makeup junkie. So I have always loved makeup, but I want to say that like 100%, we are all our own most beautiful selves, just natural. So I am not saying we should all wear makeup. We're all our most beautiful when we're just ourselves. But I happen to be completely obsessed with makeup. And I always have been. I sang in my first opera chorus when I was 4. I was a gingerbread cookie in Hansel and Gretel. And I can still remember, it's like the best moment ever, going to like the dress rehearsal where we were all going to get made up with like the heavy pancake makeup and the stage makeup. I can still remember like the wet sponge and the way that pancake makeup smelled. It is so good. So obsessed. And when I was really little, I would always, anytime my mom put lipstick on, I would run after her and make her kiss me so that I could get lipstick on my lips. So just want to say, I'm not an expert, but completely and totally obsessed with it. So we can talk a little bit more about makeup, but I wanted to say I'll come back to the makeup thing. Number 9 is check your video settings on Zoom, because there is a little thing that you can press and it will actually touch up your face and your skin. It's like a little Zoom filter. So if you want, just a really easy little touch up, definitely do that. And my number 10 tip is relax and enjoy. Because if you're relaxed with anything you do, hopefully it goes well. Okay, so that's all my 10 tips. Do we want to hear my makeup tips? I know Daniela is interested in that. Yes? Okay, so again, totally not a professional. I'm just obsessed with makeup. And obviously I've worn stage makeup my whole life. So anyway, so I would say for any time you are on Zoom, you're making a video, you're going to be on TV, you definitely don't want your face to get red and shiny, especially if you're like sitting in a room and maybe you're getting hot as you're meeting, or whatever you're doing goes on and on. So everybody needs to do their own skincare, like whatever works best for you. You need to obviously cleanse and moisturize, do all that kind of stuff, because if you have good skin, a good base, then your makeup will always go on better. So if you like, I'm gonna talk to you like maybe about a 5-minute phase. It might be a little bit more than a 5-minute phase, but what I would suggest is starting with your moisturizer, and then you can put on some primer. Primer just kind of like, I don't know, it evens out your skin a little bit. There's like clear ones, there's ones with some pigment in them. Everybody just needs to think about what they like best. If you have a specific question, then ask me, because I have lots of ideas. And I know Allie is on, she sells Mary Kay. Was that right? Yeah, Mary Kay. So Mary Kay is great skin. I know we have people in the club who sell Tropic. So like, you just need to use what you like best. So anyway, I like to do a primer. And then if it's just kind of like a normal day, I will use a tinted moisturizer. That's lighter than a foundation, but it does give you a really, oh my God, use a balaclava? No, Anita, not unless it's really, really cold or you're in the middle of a pandemic. Then maybe balaclava is a good idea. Okay, so anyway, this is going to take me forever to talk about everything. I use Laura Mercier, I don't really know how they say it, tinted moisturizer. If I'm doing something where I want to look even more polished and really have a good base, like today, I have on foundation. I, at the moment, use Becca Skin Love. I'm like so addicted. I don't drink fine wine. I don't smoke, but like I spend all my money on makeup. So I've tried everything over the years, and I've just kind of enjoy using what I like now. So anyway, I then do my foundation, and then different people, cover up, really important after your foundation. Some people put on their cover up like under eyes and on if you have any spots or redness. Some people do that before their foundation. It just depends what you like. Some people say that if you put your concealer on first, then you don't use too much foundation because you've already covered up your problem areas. It really just depends. I put my concealer on first, then I put my foundation over. So I like to use under eye cover up. So kind of put it like that, almost in like a triangle, so that you light up this area as well. Put it on my eyes all over. And then Yves Saint Laurent Touche Éclat is like a brightener. If you don't have much to cover up, you can use that as well. But I really like that as a brightener. That's like a classic thing. And then some people, especially if you want it like to last all day, if you're doing stage makeup, you can use setting powder. So I like to use Charlotte Tilbury, and you can see I've used a lot of it, but it's just a really natural powder. It helps take away shine. It helps like set your makeup for your moisturizer and foundation both have sunscreen, Anita. Yeah, that's really good. I should have talked about sunscreen, but like, I don't really want to wear sunscreen because I'm like really bad because I'm a sun worshiper. Also in England, I feel like I just need to get all the vitamin D that's possible, but my moisturizer and foundation have sunscreen in them as well. So yes, everyone should wear sunscreen. Don't be like me. Don't be tanorexic, and wear your sunscreen all the time. So anyway, so setting powder is really, really good. You can put that on the end as well of your process. I'm reading the comments. So then some people do their eyes before they do their foundation. I don't really do heavy eyes, so I think I'm okay to put my foundation on first. If you're using like really dark colors, sometimes the little pigments can like come down, but I don't really have that problem. So next to do my eyes, I always, well, again, if you're doing something like all day or all night and you want to look really good for pictures or whatever, you can always use eyeshadow primer. I use an Urban Decay one when I know that I want my makeup to last even longer. You just like put it on and rub it in, and it kind of like smooths out your eyelid and makes a really good base for everything to stick to. You can get ones that are clear, and you can get ones also that have like a little bit of pigment. Like I said, where exactly do you put the where do you put the under eye concealer? Do you go all the way up to the lower lid or just where it's darker? Well, I think you should put it on everything really. You should put it where it's darker. You should go all the way up under the lower lid. And then you should go down like that as well, and maybe a bit on your lid too. Like everyone is different and wants like different levels of coverage. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but if you just put it here and don't go up under there, then you won't quite be the same color. And I also take my foundation and I put it up underneath, and I put some on my eyelids as well. Also, this is so important, especially because I was like going on and on about double chins earlier, is that you want to take your foundation and you want to just like smooth it down so that you don't have any like tide marks. And also like when I put on blush or bronzer, I always kind of sweep it up into my hairline and around here as well, so that it all like blends really nicely, and so you don't have any like demarcation lines. Nobody wants that. Okay, so anyway, so for eyeshadow, I love buying palettes. Like I buy everything, but I find palettes are really useful because you can see this is a NARS one. It's like really, really well used, but they give you every color in the palette works together. The really, really dark ones can work as eyeliner as well. And there's really like, it takes all the guesswork out of it. I really like Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury because those are lovely. This one is by Terry. It is called, oh, this is a bit much. Sensual Precocity. I don't know. I don't know really what it means, but it sounds fun. And this is a really good neutral one. There's only a couple in there that have shimmer. Yeah, no resting bitch faces. I like shimmer everything, but some people like to not be as crazy as I do. Another one is Boudoir Eyes. You can see the kind of thing that I'm drawn to, obviously. That's another really good one, because you can use it going downwards, or you can use it side to side, like, and you don't have to think about it, or you can use it all like in any way you want. So I think eyeshadow palettes, you get more bang for your buck. This is a really good Tom Ford one. This is always sold out. This is called Nude Dip. I finally got it at duty free after like years of trying to get it, because they said all the ladies from the Middle East come and buy Nude Dip because it's their very favorite. So they're super glam. So I thought I definitely need to have that if they're all buying it, right? Okay, so anyway, so usually, am I boring everyone? Like, I just like, no, Erin is shaking her head no. So usually, let me go back to Nude Dip. Oh my God, Nude Dip, sensual precocity and boudoir eyes. I definitely have a trend that I like to buy. So like with this one, what you can do is you can put the lightest color all over your eyes with kind of like a soft, kind of like biggish brush. And then I like to go in with like a slightly darker one, put that all over, but just not at the top. And then use a darker one and just go in kind of here in the corner, like blend everything in so that you don't have lines. And when I'm using that darker one, I use a slightly smaller brush. You can see that's like the bigger one. Then you can use a slightly smaller one for when you're like blending in the corner. And then if you want to take, I don't usually do this, but if you want to use eyeliner out of your palette, you can take like a really small one, and this is hard, I don't know how all these Instagrammers do it. You can go in like that, and then you can just put it gently like that. So after my eyeshadow is done, I usually always use an eyeliner. So the one I have at the moment is Chantecaille. It's like a brown one. I like ones when they're slightly thicker, because I feel like now that I'm getting older, especially with my like failing eyesight, that if it has a thicker tip, it's slightly easier to draw on. But this is quite a thin one, so I do have to really concentrate with this one. You want one that will like glide nicely across your eyes so it doesn't pull your skin. And I just go from inner eye out to the corner. I do like a tiny flick. I'm really not good with eyeliner. My daughter Violetta can do the most amazing eyes. I'm always asking her to help me, but she's not so interested in me at the moment because she's a teenager. So I just do like tiny flick. And I also do my lower lid too. So I don't do my actual white waterline. Lots of people do, but I don't know. I just don't like having my makeup like actually kind of like in my eye. So I like to do it under. Some people don't like liner or mascara on their lower lashes. Maybe sometimes it could be a little bit aging. I think it's fine because I have really dark eyelashes anyway. So after eyeliner, love to use mascara. My favorite one at the moment is Benefit. They're real. It's lovely, stays on. It's not waterproof, so it comes off easy at night, but I feel like it stays on all day long and like doesn't migrate or anything. I also really like Lancome, but anything really, because everyone is so different and makeup is going to sit on your face different. Some things work for you, sometimes they don't. So it's really just about like what is good for you. So mascara. Then if I'm going to be really fancy, you can do like a little bit of contouring. I am no Kim Kardashian, and actually I think contouring is like quite scary, but quite fun. So today I just did like a tiny bit of it. So I have a really good palette from Charlotte Tilbury, and it has two sides in there. So it has a bronzer and then it has like a highlighter. So I don't really have a good brush for this. So kind of like if you use one like this, Daniela says, let's see, I have that and have zero idea of how to use it correctly. Okay, well, I don't know if I know how to use it correctly, but I'm going to tell you how I use it. So I would say I use this brush. It's not really brilliant. Really, if you have one that's like a bit stiffer like that, would be really good. And you just go in with it, get some on your brush, and then if you kind of smile, you want to go under your cheekbones. So just go there and there. Put a bit more on your brush, and then you're supposed to do, I think like in a half C, I don't know, kind of do around there up by your hairline and everything. And then you can also, a smaller brush would be better for this. If you dip it in the bronzer, and then if you just go right on the side of your nose, just a little bit, you're not going to look like Kim Kardashian, but it will just, well, I mean, I want to look like Kim Kardashian, maybe Chloe, if I'm being honest. But that's like, I think in person, if we saw them, it would probably like be a lot. So we should go for a bit less of a contoured look. So if you just do your nose a tiny bit, it can help it to look, you know, like a bit slimmer, a bit more defined. And then always like do all around your jawline, and then I think down as well, just so that you don't have like a crazy line. Is this after blush? Lori's asking. I do it before blush. Probably you can do whatever you want to, but I do it before, because then you just want to go through and you want to make sure it's kind of all blended in. You want it to stay where you put it, but you definitely don't want any lines with it. So I use it before blush. And then after that's done, and definitely use your setting powder before you do all this. Is that instead of bronzer or with bronzer? So I think you can do your contouring, and then if you want to add a little bit of bronzer, then you can add your bronzer after that. So like add your bronzer where the sun would naturally hit you, maybe a bit there, a tiny bit there, there. And there's bronzers, obviously all different colors. There's like orangey ones, more brown. So you just have to find one that you really like. I love this Charlotte Tilbury one, but it has a little bit of shine in it. So you wouldn't want to like, well, if you want to be a bit glowy and have a little bit of twinkle, then yeah, put it all over your face. But this one is really good for the contouring and maybe adding like on your cheekbones and stuff. Another bronzer that I really love is a big Charlotte Tilbury one. And that's like much bigger. You can get a really big brush and go all over. So I really like this big one because it has no shimmer and no shine. It's matte. And in the summer, when I wasn't really wanting to use foundation, I had a suntan, I didn't want my face like full of makeup, I would use that kind of as an all over kind of mattifying bronzing powder. And I really, really liked that because I didn't want my face to be completely covered with shimmer. I like to keep my shimmer to my eyes and my cheeks. So after you've contoured, the other bit is a highlighter. So, I mean, go in with another brush or your same brush, whatever you have, don't make it complicated. And then you put your highlighter. Well, maybe we should put blush on first. Okay, back up, blush first. I love to like be super pink and rosy. This is a really pretty Becca one. It looks super, super bright, but you know, you don't have to use such a heavy hand with it. So if you just use a little bit and put it on, you're just gonna look a little bit rosy. Obviously, if you swirl around and use more, you're gonna look a lot pinker. Another one I really like is this one. This is quite pink as well, but it's definitely more subdued. This is Charlotte Tilbury as well. And that's a really nice one too. So put on your blush. You want to put it like on the apples of your cheeks. Again, you can suck in if you want to, but, or smile and find your apples and just kind of brush. Again, I really love makeup, so I kind of put it all over the place and I kind of put it into my hairline so that I don't have any lines and brush it around. Then this is like, is this a 5-minute face? I don't know. If you're really quick with it, this will be 5 minutes. Otherwise, it will take you hours. Okay, so then highlighter, go in with a little brush, and you can just do your highlighter like kind of above where your blush would go. So you don't want it under your under eye, but like kind of right there. And it just kind of like lifts your cheeks and gives you like a nice little glow. You could also take it with your finger or a brush, and you can put it under your eyebrows, and it just like lifts everything. I love highlighter. I love to sparkle. I love it. You can also, with blushes, with highlighters, you can get cream formulas, powder formulas. In the winter, sometimes I will use cream formulas, but when it's warmer out, I almost always use powder formulas because I just don't want to be like all greasy. The other thing that's super, super important is your eyebrows. So they really, really frame your face. I have really big eyebrows. Thank God they're in. But I found now that I'm a bit older, I like to just like fill them out a tiny bit. So I have this really tiny, it's Benefit Give Me Brow, and it's like a little brush, and it has a little bit of brown gel. And this is so easy. It's like foolproof. You can't mess up with this. And you can just kind of like put it in your brows, and it just like adds a little bit of something, kind of like fills them in. If you have lighter brows, you want to get one that's a good color, obviously, for your face and your hair and your skin. For me, everything is easy because it's brown. I also like this Benefit Brow Pencil, and it's kind of shaped almost like a little bit triangularly, a little bit pointy. And then you just go in and you kind of go in the directions that your brows grow and fill them in. And that really definitely makes a really big difference to your whole entire look and framing your face, because you don't want to put like all this great makeup on and then you have like no eyebrows. Eyebrows will make a really big difference. And then if you really like want to go for glam, or you're like going to go dance on tables all night long, or you're going like for your photo shoot for Vogue, you need your makeup to last all day. So I like to use a setting spray. Again, Charlotte Tilbury has a really good setting spray. Urban Decay, I don't have it here because it's in Violetta's room. Urban Decay makes a really good like cult setting spray that everyone loves. And you just spray it kind of all over, a few squirts, and that definitely helps to hold your makeup for all day, your whole Zoom call for sure. Let's see, is that in addition to setting power? Daniela is asking. Yes, definitely. If you're going to put setting spray on, that doesn't have any pigment in it whatsoever, so that will be your very last step, and you want to have everything else before you put your setting powder on. That is a lot of makeup, guys. Any more questions? Did anyone ask questions that I didn't see? Shall I go? Can you make a list for us? Yes, I can make a list for you.